Experiment 626, also known as Stitch. This is a special video on this iconic character Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. Very famous Disney character. Before we get started with the video, this is a special reminder that the live-action Lilo and Stitch is coming to theaters this year. Stitch was a creation by evil scientist I can't pronounce his name. You know what I mean. He was built to destroy, escape, and crash land on Earth where Kauai, Hawaii took place. Kauai, Hawaii is the Garden Island and has dangerous oceans. Very iconic place. Out of all the places of Hawaii, I say Kauai, Hawaii is a place I want to go just because it is very wild and home of volcanoes and lots of wildlife. Basically wild. I like the wild. I'm interested in the wild and I want to see the wild, and Kauai, Hawaii is a really nice place to go to if you want to see it. Stitch met a little Hawaiian girl named Lilo who was about the age of 6. Basically, Lilo is very different from the other kids and she doesn't really have any friends until she meets Stitch at the time. She thinks Stitch is a dog at first, so she adopts him at a shelter. And he's a much better friend than the other girls, I would say. If you've seen the series, you would know. You would know how mean they are. Very mean girls. I think the idea of a little Hawaiian girl befriending an alien experiment is very creative. When the movie first came out, it looked pretty interesting, and when I saw it, I didn't quite understand what was going on with the whole social worker because I was only 11 at the time. But overall, I think this is a very underrated Disney movie, and it is absolutely stunning with the best animation and special effects, which I hope that they add special effects just like this to the live action movie and it doesn't become cheesy. I have very mixed feelings, but this is a movie that I am actually willing to see in the theater. Very particular about my movies. If you haven't seen Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch Has a Glitch, I recommend checking it out. Personally, I find this movie very, very emotional. I cry every time I watch it, but it's also very, very stunning and just very heartwarming. Now, there's actually Lilo and Stitch, the series, which I absolutely adore. It talks about Lilo and Stitch collecting the other experiments that Jumba created. The other 625 experiments, all unique and special in their own way, just like Stitch himself. I honestly think the original movie, is a lot more high quality, better than the series overall, but I actually do really love watching the series. I could watch it over and over and over again. It's actually something I'm watching right now. And it's very comforting and very entertaining, and I highly recommend, if you want to see more about the other experiments, check out the Lilo and Stitch the series. There's so many of them, as I said, all unique in their own way. When I was a little kid, my sister and I were very intrigued by the series, and we actually did an RP where we actually made up our own experiments, which is really cool. I remember making up this experiment with one that looked like an octopus, but it had electrical shocks, and Lilo had to find a way to find its place, rightful place where it belongs. You know how it goes. What was the place? I don't remember at all, but I just do remember drawing it out, and it was my own character, my own experiments. And I don't remember what the name was either. Sorry, guys. I actually do remember when I was younger writing a fan fiction of Lilo and Stitch, but I don't have it saved anywhere, and I don't really remember how it ended. I just remember Lilo was trying to make friends with the other girls, and Stitch was feeling left out, which kind of happens somewhat a lot in the series. It's pretty realistic to want to fit in even with mean girls, which is what Lilo wanted to do. But overall, it's all about who treats you the best. And I come to learn that it doesn't matter how many friends you have, as long as they treat you well, even if it's just one friend. If you only have one best friend, that's totally fine. Lilo has one best friend, and that is Stitch. Stitch can be a pain sometimes, but he's a great friend. We can all be pain to each other. I'm just rambling. Personally, I want to know if anyone has ever experienced peer pressure with other kids, just like Lilo did, because I'm pretty sure we have all experienced it, but let me know in the comments your own personal, relatable stories, just like Lilo, finding ways to fit in, and no matter how many times you try, you just don't fit in. You're very different from everyone else. Does anyone ever experience that? I definitely know that I have definitely experienced being left out, and it's not fun. But once you make that one special friend, it is just really rewarding. For the wait is just very rewarding, totally rewarding. Also, I would rather become best friends with an alien experiment than try to become friends with some really mean human girls, or even guys, not just girls. Guys can be mean too. But let me know, would you be friends with the alien experiment, or would you rather just try to fit in with the other crowd? Let me know, because I am actually very interested to know what you guys think about that. What is it, Stitch? Stitch, what is it? What's the Stitch? What's the Stitch? Wait, what's the Stitch? Stay tuned for another fun video.